Welcome back, golfers. Today we're gonna hit on reverse weight shift in your backswing. And this is an important one because I think like 90% of golfers I work with are doing this in their backswing, and it's killing the way that you transition, you create power, and you're not able to use the ground forces properly. So stay tuned, we're gonna give a lot of great information. This is gonna help a lot of golfers. So today we're going to hit on the reverse weight shift in your backswing. And I also call this the hip dip, because what you see is in your backswing, what you'll watch is that hip will really fall deep into that lead side. And this is one of those positions or one of those swings, even if it's subtle like that, it still becomes a big problem. So before we get into all the instruction, let's talk about what each leg is supposed to do in the golf swing. So your trail leg is designed to support your turn into the backswing. It helps you open up your body on the downswing through the transition and then drive through towards the target to the finish. So your trail side is doing all the rotation in your golf swing through your body movement and your core movement using the ground. Your lead side, its job is just to let the trail side do its job, and then once you create the compression through the transition, it just extends up through the finish. And it's going to go straight through that shoulder and back behind you. So when we talk about the key topic today of reverse weight shift, what that's going to do, if we're talking about what these legs are, which each of these legs are supposed to be doing, if you're putting pressure into the lead leg and your hip line's going down, it's putting extra weight on that side. And then you have all this pressure you're driving down through, you're putting extra pressure, dynamic weight into that side, which makes it harder to push up through that side. So one of my videos I did was on understanding your dominant sides. And in your legs, you have a dominant side typically of which leg, if you're gonna run and jump, which leg you would jump off of. So if you were a trail side jumper and you got into that reverse weight shift position, it's going to do two things to you. One, you're going to try to drive off that trail side because that's the one that you really like to drive from. And what that's going to do is cause early extension through that downswing. Number two, it's going to cause over the top as well. And the reason why, if you're a trail leg jumper, is because your body's trying to drive energy off that side, but it doesn't feel the weight. So what it does, it just spins through our lead hip instead of driving and opening up through our trail hip. So what you'll see is the knees in that situation, the trail knee will come forward instead of the lead knee going backwards. Easy way to identify if you're videotaping your swing, which I hope you are. Now, if you are a lead leg jumper, you might be able to get out of this position a little bit easier because you're used to jumping through that lead side. But the problem with that movement, when you get into that lean into that leg and your knees haven't squared up yet, is now you're going to have to drive through that ground and you're going to be pushing a lot of energy through your toe box. And if you watch my other videos, you know if you're driving energy through your toes, it's going to lock up your hips because your hips going to come forward, and that could put you in early extension also and stand you up out of the shot. And then all your rotations coming through your lead hip rather than letting your trail side do the work. And this is important because using the trail side is a natural athletic motion. If I grabbed a ball and I wanted to throw it, I'm going to use my trail side to open up my lead side as I'm throwing the ball. And then once I get my knees squared, then I'll push and drive that trail side through, just like in the golf swing. There, open it up and drive through. So let's get into the work to start practicing how to get out of reverse weight shift. And then this is going to make it so your golf swing is more fluid, more powerful, and we're going to use the ground properly. All right, so we're going to start out with a wedge, and we're going to do a short little pitch drill just to start practicing getting the weight to transfer from your trail side to your lead side. So what we're going to do is get set up. On the backswing, we're just going to pick up and hover that lead foot, put it back down, and then go through. So it should be a little pitch, a little half swing. So pick up the lead foot, hover it. As the lower body is driving, you should feel that ground. You're pushing through that ground to help open up that body. The timing of this is through the transition. You're in your right glute, your trail glute. And as you push through the ground, your lead side's going to bring your hip up, which then levels out the hips, squares up the knees at that point. This is when you're going to start feeling the pressure coming back down into the ground in the left heel or your lead heel. And you're also going to feel that lead glute engage at that point. So that timing, trail glute, shifting over, hip comes up, levels out, knees square up, lead glute engaged, compression into the left heel or the lead heel, and then we'll push up through that and then drive through. And you can do this with a little pitch shot too. It's the same sequencing that we want in the pitching. So a little half swing, lift, put it back down, go on through. So do that drill until you can really feel the structure, the skeletal structure of that trail leg supporting the movement, that lead leg staying light, and then still feeling that drive from that trail leg as you open up. Shouldn't feel extra spring in that lead side when this is working right. All right, now that we got the pitching down, we're gonna get a little bit longer. So we're gonna grab like a mid iron, and we're gonna hit some fuller shots doing the same movement, hovering that foot, and then bringing it over to that lead side. And even just practicing doing that drill right there, feeling the ground all the way evenly distributed across from the toe to the heel as you're in that trail glute, and then pushing through that ground, opening up that lower body. Okay, so then once we get into that feeling, that full swing, we're gonna lift that lead foot up, just hover it, back foot connection, down and through. Doesn't have to be a full swing at first, just to get that feeling of driving using those feet. And as you practice this, it's just gonna get easier. So instead of falling into that bend of that lead side, getting your hips really steep, and then having to try to push through it, which then is gonna counterbalance and cause you to cast, this movement's gonna naturally create lag, hopefully, in your downswing. Into the trail leg, push, through to the finish. And it'll open up your lead side much easier. So give that a try and we'll move forward through the next drill. So the next part of this drill is designed to, instead of getting you to jump and push through that lead leg and twist, what I want you to do is learn to drive from the ground and push off that trail leg and use the ground forces, which are probably the strongest part of where you can get energy for your golf swing. If you want to first give it a couple little jumps to your trail leg and then try to push through and kind of get your hips to go towards the target when you come through, that'll kind of give you the sense of how to feel that ground. And for a lot of you, it might feel like you're almost swaying into that backswing in order to feel that movement into the ground so you can drive off of it. The main idea, feel the ground, push into it, push off of it, and drive off of it. Okay, then we're gonna get into a drill here. We're gonna do a step drill, and we're gonna get set up normal. Then we're gonna bring our lead foot to our trail foot. We're gonna keep our hands right where they are. Now we're going to use that trail foot to jump off, to drive off of. So we're going to go back, step, step, and then we'll feel the swing. Okay, so we're feeling that push to push that foot straight towards, down our path towards the target. Okay, normal setup, lead foot to the trail foot, back step, and then swing. Setup normal, lead foot to the trail foot, step about when the hands pass the belly button, stick the finish. Should feel smooth, should move through. If it feels awkward, you're probably stepping at the wrong time. That's gonna help sequencing of your body. So it is bottom up rather than top down. Easy way to tell if you're going top down sequence, your hands will tighten through that first move and you'll feel your pressure working across your body rather than what we wanna feel is this little side bend crunch into that trail side. And that'll get your body to start working underneath a little more, keeping your side tilt. All right, so moving on to the third drill. This is the last main instruction drill before we get into a normal swing. What I'm gonna have you do is to make sure we're off of our lead side, not falling into that bend and that hip line doesn't get down, so we get a nice high left hip position or lead hip position. So we're gonna take a backswing, and when we get to the top of the backswing, I want you to pick up that foot, put it back down, and just feel comfortable. Then start again. Okay, so you don't have to hit a ball with this drill. It's probably easier if you didn't, but this is how we're gonna make sure we're in the structure of our trail leg. We're gonna get set up, nice and tall lower body, turn into that back foot, pick up the foot, put it back down from there, down and through. You can hit a ball, you don't have to hit a ball, either way. But the main thing is we're up to the backswing, pick up the back foot, put it back down. That shows us that our weight isn't over here because you're never going to be able to do it if you're falling into that lead foot. And now we're going to go into our final drill, our final movement, which is our normal swing. When we're making our normal swing, what I want you to feel is this wave of energy, kind of like that step drill we did originally, or the march drill, where the wave energy is pushing into that trail leg, pulling into that trail leg, trail glute, and then your foot's coming back down. So it's going up and back, and then it's falling back into that lead foot at the bottom of the transition when the knees square up. So we're back and then through. We're feeling this movement, this wave of energy, but we're gonna do it without lifting the foot. If you wanna lift the lead heel, totally fine. But what we wanna feel is that wave energy goes into the trail foot, back down, and then through. So it's this nice smooth wave of energy back and then down into the trail leg, into the lead heel, and then we push up from that position, the bottom of the transition. Our hands should be somewhere over here when we get that pressure happening into that lead side. Knees, like I said, squared up at that point, because this movement is helping open up the lead side. So let's do it one more time. Wave of energy coming out of that foot into that right side or trail side, back down and through. Nice and smooth. You don't have to put a lot of energy into this, and it should feel rhythmical. Golfers, I hope these drills help. I hope this instruction really helps you. If you like what I'm doing, think about hitting that like and subscribe button down below. And remember, if your feet aren't working, your swing's not working. Catch you guys next time.